you can tell from looking at, a good example. If you walk right outside this room, there is a bank of where there used to be payphones. There's one payphone in this hotel that doesn't even work anymore. And so most companies are deciding, hey, this payphone thing just isn't worth the money to operate anymore. So in February 1st, I believe, 2001, my phone company, Bell South, decided that they're like, you know what? Screw this. We're done with this payphone thing. They either pulled out all their payphones from their booths or they just sold them to other companies. And recently, I believe Quest Communications is starting to do the same thing. On a lower level, they're just starting to sell them off to independent companies. But I mean, with the invention of cell phones and the cheaper it gets, we start to get, especially with the customizable faceplates and ringtones and all this crap that makes it like a fashion statement to have your cell phone. It really puts us into this rainbow-colored, polyphonic, crazy frog hell that we live in today. And it really killed the payphone industry. And unfortunately, I think that that's really the end of it. I think that soon there are not going to be any more payphones, which is horrible in my opinion. I think they're a great tool for people who are not, who don't really have a cell phone. People who have a low income and can't afford to buy one. But unfortunately, this is the end of the payphone era as it was, and I guess we have to move on from there. But that is actually, I believe, going to be the end of this presentation, and I'm sure I wrapped it up way early. And I'm glad you guys got here just in time. But now you're in time for the trivia with prizes. And actually, the first, as I trip over my own backpack, I got this painting here. This is an original painting by my fiance. Yes, I know. She's famous, I swear. And I will give this to whoever can tell me who the first female operator in America was. Excellent. I will give this to the first person who raises their hand. Oh, shit. Yeah. I will give this to the first person who pays me money. No. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody come get this picture. It's free. We also have another one, which I'm sure I'll probably end up doing the same thing. I got this phone here, which is quite nice. And this question, actually, if you didn't get that one, this one's probably going to be a little bit harder. IBM has a subsidiary company that makes PBXs and phones and all sorts of cool stuff like that. And whoever can tell me the name of that company? No. Bonus points if you can pronounce it correctly. You can come get this phone. Okay. I should choose easier questions next time, I suppose. IBM, actually, the company they own it's spelled ROLM. I have no idea in the world how to pronounce that word. As far as I can tell, it's Rolm.
I think it used to be a German company.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just know that's what we use at my work, and that's where I got these phones. So, but yeah, I guess if anybody wants this, it's also free, except to the person who just got the painting. Yeah, so if anybody wants this, that's cool. If anybody has any questions or anything, now would be the time. Otherwise, and we got somebody in the back here.
You gave us a little bit of history on payphones.
Yeah.
Do you have any more history? I know there were a lot of advances, especially once they started making it so that you couldn't play tones with the handset.
Surprisingly,
The phones that weren't owned by the telcos themselves.
Yeah, there is a lot, and a lot is not well documented in places that are easy to find. You do have, once the phone company started kind of deciding that payphones weren't really for them, a lot of independent companies started coming up and made what's called a COCOT phone, which is a customer-owned, coin-operated telephone. And that's basically, those are really evil little bastards. They don't operate in any way that normal payphones would on a like a background level. I mean, normal people see it and they're just like, payphone, I put money in, it makes a call. Cool. The internal workings are, for the most part, really screwy. They depend on phone to phone. I'm sure if I could get into, you know, each and every kind of COCOT company and the stuff that's inside the phones, this presentation would probably have been a lot longer than it is, which probably would have been a good thing. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot I didn't cover here. I wish that I had some time and all that good stuff, but unfortunately, I mean, I don't really know a lot about the whole COCOT industry and all that stuff in there. I just kind of went with what I could find information on. So,
Do you know if COCOTs are generally, if they generally do all their, hey, we got money, hey, we didn't get money inside?
I'm actually not sure.
A phone line that you get at your house, or do they send some sort of signaling back to the CO?
I'm not totally certain about that. Yeah, he could probably answer this question for you.
A COCOT will work on a POTS line. It doesn't actually use a ground start, so you could actually, if you own one, you could actually hook it up to your own home line.
Yeah.
It generates all the billing in the phone on the PCB board. There's actually a little switch you can turn it on.
So
or
yeah.
off.
So yeah,
It actually generates the dial tone
Yeah.
from the board. It's not the actual
Excellent.
line dial tone.
Interesting. See, I wasn't aware of that. So to answer your question, if you didn't hear him, it does it all inside the phone. There's little computer type stuff inside there. Say what? Yeah. That's the technology part goes over my head. I do the history stuff. I
Did you bring a cutaway of like some Electrotel or something?
no. I did get this. That's my prop. Any other questions from anybody? Oh, we got more people back here. What's up?
This is just kind of your personal opinion, but what do you think about, like, what are your, where do you see phone hacking going? Like, do you see, like, the advancements being made to the same degree with cell phones that were made with payphones, and cell phones kind of overtook payphones?
In a sense, yeah. It's kind of a repeating cycle. Cell phones started out as just kind of this thing that people were kind of iffy about, but now it's like how payphones were before cell phones came around, where everybody was using them. You know, there were actually points where you'd had to stand in line for some places to use payphones. But I see cell phones going in the same way. I think they'll probably stay around for a lot longer than the payphones did, just because the technology is more convenient for people. It's easier for people to have this thing in their pocket that they can walk around with instead of having to, you know, be stuck to a wall for the most part. I think that, it's starting to happen already. I think that's really where the next generation of phone phreaking is going to be. I mean, we've got voice over IP, which is a cool technology, and there's a lot of people playing with that. But I really see cellular technology being the next big thing that a lot of people are getting into. So.
Is anybody hooked up a COCOT to a VoIP? Or just done like an old? I was gonna say that would be a cool little hack.
Yeah, as far as I know, there shouldn't be any issue with it because it's more or less just a standard phone. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It powers off the line, so it would work.
Yeah. So.
What do you think about like the new hybrid stuff that's like half keyboard, half internet monitor, half camera?
Well, actually, we don't have those. We don't have those where I'm from.
Looks like shit, but
I'd love to play with them. I really would. I could probably spend good hours playing with those things, but unfortunately, Bell South doesn't, operate the payphones anymore, and I don't see COCOT companies throwing that much money out to try and get me internet access or something.
you
So.
see them in like airports and stuff.
Yeah.
They're supposed to like, where people can just whip out their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, little data terminals and whatnot, but I don't know. I've never had a chance to play with them, so I think it's an interesting technology. I want to play with them really bad, but there's just none available to me where I'm from, at least. Anyone else?
Nothing in a pickup truck and a cable.
Those black black boxes that you spoke about.
Mhm.
Are they still in use today? A lot, or are they in use?
As far as I know, on the newer switching systems, it does not work anymore. Or if it does, then they know that the phone company sees you using it and you get busted for it. So, as far as I can tell, before I think it was like 30 minutes or something supposedly that you could use it on the older switching systems before you would get, you had to get off the phone within 30 minutes or else they'd notice or whatever. But as far as I know, it doesn't really work anymore. Got somebody back here?
What parts of the country can you still use the red box?
It really depends. A lot of smaller, like places that have kind of smaller rural phone companies that still operate payphones will have older systems and they'll still use in-band signaling. It's possible in some places with some phone companies to unmute the handsets on the payphones and still use it. But really, I mean, it's kind of limited where you can and can't use it depending. I don't know all the places. I know in Georgia you can't. But basically anywhere that a the regional phone company still operates payphones, there's a chance you might be able to. So,
I
yes.
just wanted to put out there that a lot of the hybrid payphones now that are not the Western Electric fortresses, but they're shaped like them. They act exactly like them.
Yeah.
Except they have like the digitally generated dial tone. It dials out a number first before dialing the number you put in there.
Yeah.
And if you have that number and you call from that phone, I believe it checks ANI, you will be able to still make free calls without a red box or anything.
Interesting. I've actually never had a chance to. I've never heard of that technique. So, but yeah, if anybody's interested,
Capture that number, though.
definitely.
You gotta phone it or what?
Take a digital voice recorder and then
It's a 1-800 number that you could dial from the phone, which is why it checks ANI. And you dial that number, it'll prompt you, it will give you 2 seconds to put in whatever number you want to call. So it's just a matter of getting the number.
I was gonna check if you have to phone the PSTN.
Right, so it has to be from the payphone that calls the number.
But yes, thank you for sharing that information. I'll have to look more into that one myself. But anyone? Bueller? Yes.
You asked about getting the tone to report.
I'm sorry.
Tone is ultrasonic.
I can't.
Sorry, you asked about getting the required tone out of the report. Now, I don't know exactly how you do it. But basically, if you blow too hard, you push into the button opposite. And if you put more air through it, you might pick up another one. So as long as the tone's high and not lower than normal,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of generating an awful lot of force with your lungs.
I'll.
And you can push whatever note you were playing, so you're getting multiple of that frequency.
Yeah. I will. I'll have to go buy a new recorder and try that one out when I get back to Georgia. But yeah. Like that's still to this day, like I was saying before, being able to play 2600 hertz with a little plastic recorder blew my mind to even think that people could do that. So, but yes, thank you for pointing that one out for me.
It's a true story about Captain Crunch and the whole whistle out of a Captain Crunch box and whistling in.
Yes, it was. You could use if you covered up the second hole or something, I think, on it and blew, it would create the 2600 hertz tone. So yes, it was true. I can't verify for sure whether he invented that or what, or if he just thought it was cool and took the name. Because there's really two sides to that story that gets everywhere. But yes, that did work. So yeah.
Something that I don't know, how long was that exploit available before the phone company cut it off?
The blue boxing?
No, on the 2600.
Oh yeah, that's similar.
Was
to-
that 10
It's
years?
it was a while. I don't know exactly how long. I know there are still places that you can blue box in. I believe they're either in America or in Canada. I can't remember where the switches are that will still respond to the 2600 hertz.
Did that work on the digital switches or the old stuff?
As far as I know, it doesn't work on the digital stuff. It works just on old crossbar and stuff before then. Yes.
The switches, it used to have that, I guess, security latch open on
we stopped using them, usually we sold them to